Welcome back to the day 4 of mastering Figma in 10 days. So today we are going to look at the auto layout. If you're still not subscribed to this channel and you're still watching this series, please kindly hit the subscribe button. To get started, I'm going to select a new frame. I will create a rectangle of this size. It can be any size. I'm going to duplicate this rectangle into 4 pieces. After that, I will just drag this way. So the auto layout allows you to automatically align your items from the spacing between them and then the basic alignment. It does that automatically. So I'm going to hold Shift on my keyboard to select other items. After doing that, on my right hand side, I have the auto layout. I'm going to click on the auto layout. Now, the auto layout, I've adjusted the spacing to 160. This by default, it takes do the calculation depending on how you space your item. But if you want to adjust this space between these items, you can come here and say, if we have 50, you see, automatically is going to adjust the space between these items. So once you have an auto layout, it comes with all these features. I'm going to duplicate this item here. So let's see what happens. Control D, we have the 5th item and the spacing between is also 50. That is one good thing about the auto layout. You keep adding, just keep spacing them 50 each, depending on your initial spacing. So now let's increase the size of this, because we want to also look at some of the basic alignment. Now I have this. The next thing we are seeing is this part here. So now here, this is aligned to the top. But let's try aligning this to the center. You see, the smaller ones will be aligned towards the big one. That was why I had to increase the size of this. If you go downward, it's going to be like this. The same, it's still down. But then this is going to be on the left hand side. So here I would like to keep this here at the center. Then we have some direction. That is for this part. Now you use it to align the elements inside your auto layout. So the next thing here we want to look at is this directions. Right now, if you look, I'm having this in a horizontal line. That's from left to right is horizontal. From top to bottom is vertical. So this is from my left to right. So let's change the direction of this. These are some of the advantages of auto layout. So I can click on this arrow down. You see, it will just change the arrangement of this for me. And then I can do this, see, back to horizontal alignment. But if you notice, we have this other feature here. But after clicking this, nothing happens. So we are going to do something here so that we can be able to explain this wrap feature. The wrap feature is responsible for the responsive design in Figma. That's if you're not using any third-party plugin or resources. So now to apply this, I'm going to come in here where you are having width for the auto layout. There is a drop down. When you hover, click on that, we have the minimum width. So for this auto layout, I want to set the minimum width to 400. So that is the least this frame can go. So anything below 400 is not going to be possible to adjust the width. Then I'm going to come back here and select this arrow, and then I'll add the maximum width. So maximum, once it gets to 800, you can't increase this again. So I'm picking random values. So let's see what happens. But to do that, let's click on the wrap feature here and see. Then we start adjusting. So see what happens at this point. If I try to adjust, you see, the moment I do that, it breaks down. Now, if you look at the width, I can't go below this because it's 400. That is the minimum width of this. So let's try to increase this. You see, it's now 800. That is the maximum width this can grow. So, but let's make it more fun, and I'll delete this here, delete this, and we have our items. So let me duplicate this maybe twice. So we have these items. So let me click here. Let's try to adjust this. You see, they are now responsive. Automatically, once they get to 400, they arrange themselves in this group. So that is how to create a responsive design. But because we're introducing the concept of auto layout, we are not going to do much. So now let's look at other feature. We've looked at the directions. So the next thing we want to look at here is just the gap between our items. If they are in this direction here, you see, so this is the horizontal, this is the vertical spacing now. So if I'm changing this to this direction, you notice that we have this. The next thing is this value here, the value on the right and then the left hand side. I'm going to change that to an obvious value, let's say 50. So at this point now, to actually see this value, let's adjust this a bit. Let me make it 10, which is more realistic. So now to actually see this value, let's add the one for top and bottom. I think this is going to be more obvious, 40. So you see, we now have spacing at the top and at the bottom. The same thing if I come to left and right here, you see this is going to be 10 here, 10, and then this other part is going to be 10. That's left and right. So for your auto layout, you can add a fill to that. So I can click on the plus sign here, and then let's change the fill to this color. So after changing the fill to this color, you discover that we can also change the colors for auto layout. Now if I click on this, I try to align this, you notice this is not working because I'm not selecting the wrap here. So if you want your design to be responsive, you make sure that you're selecting the wrap feature, and then by the time I get to 400, it sticks to this particular pattern. So we can adjust this here like this, and then we can go like this. The next thing we want to look out here on the auto layout is the height. The height also have the mean height and also the mean width. So you can try to add this value and see for yourself. Then once you do that, you can be able to increase. You see, now I don't have any minimum height, any maximum height that this can stop. So we can just play around with it, add it, and then see for yourself. That is another way to learn. If you're still watching this and you're not subscribed to my channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button. In the next video, we are going to start implementing most of the things we've learned in day 3 and day 4. So stay tuned.